Hello everyone, and welcome to a new episode of Lost in Translationmon. This time we're covering Digimon Adventure 2020, episode 42, King of Inventors, Garbamon. I'm May, and this time I'm joined by the lovely Quinn.
Hi.
And of course the equally lovely Evie.
Hello.
So we're full house today, which is, I think, it's been a few weeks since we've all been in the podcast space together, so this is nice. I like this.
Been a while since nothing
good.
has been causing me lots and lots of stress.
Ah,
So I'm good now for a
sorry.
bit. No, it's nice. I'm finally having like a decent weekend for a change.
and now you had to watch Digimon. You had to spoil it by watching Digimon.
Yeah, although last week's episode was pretty okay.
Yeah, I thought so. I think that every episode is pretty okay because I'm an easy child. But I guess we'll get more onto that in this show. Before we continue discussing episode 42, however, as Quinn was not present for last week and hadn't watched the episode, we will now hear her thoughts on last week's episode, which was episode 41. What was it called again? I don't even remember. Of something about Angemon having a holy pole or something.
Yeah, ooh.
In Mon Park in the Fog, there we are.
Okay.
Don't know why I was like, did it have Angemon in there? No, it didn't. So just quickly, what were your highlights and lowlights, Quinn?
So I really appreciated just that we got. There was a lot of Ava in that episode, to be honest. And it was really
So much.
good.
Yeah.
We're finally doing something with Takaru and Yamato's like parents being divorced, I guess, kinda. So that was nice. I thought the fight was actually pretty okay. Overall, it was a really pretty solid episode. And I wish that they would steal from Ava more often, because that was basically just the Unit 13 fight mixed with some Full Metal Alchemist.
Oh, it totally was. Yeah, no, I totally
They-
see. I don't
They've
make as many
absolutely
Evangelion
had...
references when you're not here.
That's fair. They literally, going full FMA, they had someone dive into the weird vagina eye-shaped thing on someone's stomach and go inside and be transformed into a different shape. Like, wow, they pulled from a very specific scene in Brotherhood.
I like that.
Lowlights.
Which I've only just started watching Brotherhood recently, so I
Brotherhood's
get that
so
reference
good.
now.
Yeah, otherwise, for lowlights, we did a lot of Takaru Oni-chan.
Yeah, but it was almost like played in reverse because it wasn't actually Takaru calling out Oni-chan, it was actually just the balloon.
You're not wrong. We did some of that unironically, and then we also did some with the balloon. It was good stuff.
Yeah.
Yeah. I don't have a huge amount to say about it other than that, like, it was more entertaining than an average episode of Digimon.
That is really, really good praise.
Mm-hmm.
If it's better than a lot of Digimon, then that is I consider that a good episode. So for reference, I gave it a 4 out of 5. Evie gave it a 2 out of 5. What would you give it, Quinn?
I think I'm also gonna give it a 4. I enjoyed it a lot.
It was a good episode.
It was fine.
I liked it.
Back in 1999 when it first came out.
It was different though.
I really enjoyed the abandoned theme park. I know we've done that a decent amount in Digimon, but I thought that was cute. I actually thought the Pegasusmon merry-go-round thing was kind of cute, although every time Yamato very angrily said the words merry-go-round, I laughed.
Mm-hmm.
Yeah, he seemed to have I don't know, merry-go-round related trauma.
I mean, I think that was the
Maybe he
last
did.
time they did anything together before parents got divorced, so oof. They never did get to go on the merry-go-round together, and
which
still
kind
don't.
of breaks my heart, which is probably why I liked it, because
I
like when
so good.
media breaks my heart, yeah.
Uh-huh.
But, so, yeah.
I thought it was a good choice to not give Mimi the Monzaemon fight, actually.
Oh, yeah, that was, I appreciated that. I guess we'll talk about it, but episode 42, this week's episode, is just, it's Raemon fighting against Koshiro again, which we get in Original Adventure.
Mm-hmm.
But at least it's slightly different. But, again, it's nice when we get the fights that we pair up the villains that aren't the same. Also, it wasn't Monzaemon, it was just Monzaemon in the Monzaemon statue.
You're not wrong.
Because he was too evil, and if the children saw the giant evil teddy bear, they would say, yep, not going in there, that's a scary looking dude. So
You're not wrong.
it makes sense that I would go into one. But
You know,
so overall that gives it a 10 as our rating, which we have you have no idea how many other 10s we have. So like it's it's usually easy. It's like, oh, this is a unique one, so we know how we're going to put it in our overall ranking. But this is just like most recently episode 37 and 36 have also been 10s. So that's Mimi-chan Wars and Operation Satellite Sniper. So as a basis, is it better or worse than either of those episodes?
I think I would put it right in the middle, because I think I did not like it as well as Mimi-chan's Wars.
Yeah, I definitely like Mimi-chan's Wars more. And Evie, did you prefer, what are your thoughts?
Put it anywhere for me. I'm not too fussed.
And also, between episode 36 and 37, we have episode 13, which is Garudamon's introduction. So I would say that this episode was better than the Garudamon introduction, I think.
I would agree.
In fact, I can't remember Garudamon's introduction. It says a lot.
That's kind of what I meant.
It was... Yeah, I'm the same. Like, I liked that episode, but it was...
I can't
just know
remember
that
anything
Canon
about
Beamon was there.
Oh, okay.
It was the Big B episode, but at the moment we're in like the sort of almost an arc where every episode is just how can we introduce Vor into the plot. That was back in the days of how can we introduce being inside of a Digimon as an army tanker sort of thing as the plot. That was every episode almost, or at least 2.
There has to be a fetish for
just,
someone using my body as
weird.
A military base, right?
I think so. I think so.
Someone tell me what the AO3
but I'm sure there is. Oh, I don't want to know. Anyway, before we get demonetized, Quinn, where would you put that in your ranking, episode 41?
Let me take a look. So, episode 41, which I gave a 4 to... Let me take a look at my scores here. You expect me
Your
to
most
do
recent
work?
4 was episode 36, by the way.
Okay.
Which, I can't even find episode 36. Am I just blind? I'm not wearing my glasses. That's
Oh,
a bad
wow.
idea.
Episode 36 is, like, near the bottom for me. It's in the bottom half, which is wild for a 4.
Wait, maybe I was looking at the wrong... No, I was probably looking at... Nope, you gave 2.5 to 36. I was looking at Evie's.
Okay.
Most recently, you gave... here we are. You gave episode 39 a 4 and 38 a 4.
That's more accurate. Okay, so I'm going to put this under 39, I think.
Okie dokie. And I will remember how to use Excel. It's not like working with computers is my job or anything.
Yeah, but Excel sucks.
Okay, so that means...
I literally give a lecture on why my students shouldn't use Excel.
Oh yeah, it definitely sucks, but like I'm fairly good with making things pretty in Excel. I don't know, it's a gift I have. Anyway, so that means that episode 41 is in 10th place for Quinn, and in 18th place for me, because I've literally given everything a 4 out of 5 just about. And overall... Oh, also Evie had it at 36th place, and overall it is living at 24th place.
That's reasonable.
And, I almost forgot. Favourite character. Who was your favourite character? I picked Takeru, Evie picked Patamon, and Quinn picked...
You know what? I'm going to go ahead and say Takeru as well.
Valid choice. And yes, so that's basically all the housekeeping. So now we can go on to discussing the episode that happened today. The episode starts up with Koshiro and Taichi scouting out the campsite, as they promised at the start of the last episode, and they discover a junkyard with Garbamon and Tumon. And the subtitles call Tumon, but written as Tyu, because I guess they just saw the Romaji and was like, Tumon.
Yeah, just nobody
That's
cared.
his name.
Yep.
Yeah, it's not... I mean, it's not super wrong, but it's wrong.
It's not great.
Anyway, and straight away I'm starting to think... I wonder if this Garbamon was once a Sukamon.
That would make sense.
I don't know why I had that thought, but that was my first thought.
That's cute.
Because Sukamon does evolve into Garbamon. And also, my next thought was, I really like Garbamon's tattoo.
Garbamon was just
Little
pretty
roach.
good in general.
Which was surprising. I was expecting him to be like, oh, he's secretly like a bad guy and he's like trying to steal things from Koshiro. Like, I'm pretty sure that was a plot in Cross Wars where there was a Puppetmon and the main character was like,
it was the plot
I will help you. And Puppetmon was like, oh yeah, it's a plot of a lot of Digimon where the Digimon's like, I'm a good Digimon, don't worry.
Again.
Yeah. But it was honestly surprising. Like, I kept on waiting, like, okay, Garbamon's going to turn out to be super evil now. Nope, not trying to steal anything. He's actually just a nice dude.
Just
This episode
stereotyping
kind of...
the virus types.
Yeah,
Stop
basically.
doing that.
Yeah, we need to stop racially profiling. Just because someone is
Also the
literally
poop
made of
Digimon.
garbage doesn't mean they're made of garbage.
Yeah.
It may.
Like, this is me. This is me as a Digimon. I am rubbish, but not
It's all of
completely
us.
rubbish. Yeah.
But you are rubbish.
It is the Digimon community. Yeah. But he also throws poo, and this season in general likes to, like, not make the ones that throw poo into necessarily
we can do
bad
all
Digimon.
the
Like,
vor, but we don't throw that much poo, and it's usually by good people.
yeah.
So
And
there's a
Nanimon, who
sentence
just
about
wants to hang
Digimon.
out. Yeah, that works. Anyway, so Garbamon is an inventor, and his invention fails, and he tells Chumon not to be disappointed because we learn from mistakes. And I don't know why, but this line just really, like, hit me really well. Like, that is a great thing to say. Like, I don't know. I was like, thanks, Garbamon. Like, I don't know why. Like, Garbamon was really, like, nice and cool in this episode, which was something I would never expect to say because...
Garbamon, good, I guess, another adopted parent for Koshiro.
Yeah, I love that. I love seeing Koshiro bond with other Digimon.
We
Like,
actually
Tentomon,
did
I don't think...
some foreshadowing of the reveal for Koshiro, which is, like, clever.
Yeah. It's still 40 episodes late, but, you know, I'm still like, oh, that's kind of cool.
Yeah, like, it's especially since it's gonna be exactly the thing you're expecting at this point, if you've seen Adventure, which is annoying.
Oh, but if you haven't, it's very vague. If you are an 8-year-old and you've not seen Digimon Adventure, he was very vague about it. He was just like,
no,
oh, you know,
like,
being
I
left
appreciate
behind.
that. It was well
and...
done. It just seemed
yeah.
a little silly under the circumstances.
Yeah.
Yeah,
it was kind of like, okay, that's a little bit of a stretch.
Watching this, maybe I'm wrong.
I'm sure there are in Japan, like, maybe not not people watching it on Crunchyroll or Anime Lab, but the people watching it in Japan, I would say, would be children.
That's probably
and
fair.
What I would like to know is, like, I wonder if there are people who are our age or close to our age who have children in Japan, and they're watching it with their kid, and the kid is watching Digimon for the first time, and the parent is watching it because that's kind of what you do when you're a parent, but it's bringing, and they're not, like, super into Digimon now, they're just sort of, like, they liked it as a kid, and they've probably not really thought about it for, like, a decade or so, but imagine if they're just having all these memories come back when they watched Digimon when they were their kids' age. That's just a nice thought for me, I don't know why.
Oh, yeah, if I ever have kids, it'd be really nice to watch Digimon together. That'd be fun.
Oh, 100%. Like, something I'm looking forward to if I ever have children is, like, I get to watch them, like, if they obviously enjoy Pokemon and Digimon, but I really like to sit down and watch them play Pokemon. Mm-hmm. Like, I just think that would be fun. Or just watch them experience things.
Well, whatever the new fad is.
Anyway.
A Fortnite, I guess.
Or whatever the new fad. New Yokai Watch or whatever. Anything. I just want to experience them enjoying something, because...
I want to show my kids new Yokio.
Kids can be really cute. Oh. They get really into Toblerone. Anyway, so...
Oh my god, I'd have to give
and that's the
Toblerone
only
for
thing I know about...
Christmas.
Yeah, well, that's not terrible.
There's no
like,
chocolate in
Toblerone always
this
goes on
giant
special around
Toblerone.
Christmas anyway. Anyway, so we have the kids discovering Garbamon, and Garbamon sees the group and hides in his bin, which is adorable. Like, he's just a turtle.
Such a good boy.
He's a trash turtle. He's not a bad guy. It's precious. And Koshiro is, like, immediately impressed that he created so much from rubbish. And by the way, every time anyone says rubbish, Garbamon's like, that's not rubbish, that's treasure. And I'm like, oh, you're taking, like, one man's trash is another man's treasure into, like, a completely different
I'm so
light,
into
but that's
it, though.
fine.
I've made so much
Like-
crap out of garbage. It's really good.
I mean, that's, like, toilet paper rolls when you're a kid are very exciting.
Mm-hmm.
You can do so much stuff with that, with, like, some pipe cleaners and some toilet paper rolls. That's just, like, chef's kiss of art there. But,
And even as an adult,
yeah,
you'd be amazed at the number of things you can repair with nothing but a paperclip.
Yeah, paperclip's good. Like, Garbamon's just MacGyver, I guess. Or maybe Koshiro, I guess, is MacGyver.
No, I think Garbamon
Anyway.
is MacGyver and Koshiro is his, I don't know, apprentice, I guess. It was pretty cute, but
Yeah, it was adorable. So Koshiro is impressed, and it just... Oh, but by the way, the dub name for this episode is definitely going to be like one man's one mon's trash is another man's treasure, or something like that.
Yeah.
Like, that's just 100%. If there's ever a dub...
Since it's even explicitly from the human world, it can be one man's trash is another mon's treasure.
Mon's treasure. Yeah, absolutely.
That'll be so good.
That's... Like, if there's a dub and it comes out and that's not the name, like, that would be just really disappointing. Like, if they just give it, like, direct translations, like, I know a lot of people say, oh, you know, the dub should be a direct translation, like, but that's...
in a lot of cases,
it's meant to
I
have
agree with
stupid
that,
puns.
but Digimon needs this.
Yeah, like, for, like, a lot of anime, yes, please leave it as intact as possible, but for, like, children's anime, come on, just put in some lame puns.
I'm still so sad
like,
that we
it's
didn't
great.
get an Atmon dub, because that would have been so good.
Hopefully one day.
Just give me all the vaguely homoerotic puns with Eugene.
Please.
Who Chloe
And,
wants me to say on air every time she hears someone say it, thinks his name is Eugene. In which case,
I think that was
suddenly...
the point of all the... Yeah.
I don't know, Eugene is such a non-protagonist name, and I just can't...
It's a nerd name.
It really is.
But
He's
I think
too
it was meant to be,
protagonisty
like...
for Eugene. That's all I'm saying.
I mean, aren't all the all the characters, they're like references to AI or inventors, and I'm pretty sure Eugene was one of the references. Like, I think that's on purpose.
Oh, okay. I
like, Haru was meant to be Hal and
AI, but I am not an expert on AI.
It's either like, I'll have to Google it, but I'm fairly certain it was like every character, including like Eugene, was some scientist or AI. I'm completely
That's clever.
Memory blanking. I just know Haru was Hal. I was literally AI.
Yep.
They were all like references,
Watson.
and that was kind of cool.
Yeah.
Yes, yeah. But anyway, so something I noticed is this, and I guess this is, spoilers, my only lowlight for this episode, is that the art style just takes like a dive in this episode.
Yeah.
Like, there is a point where they're all looking at Garbamon. Like, Agumon's super long. Like, it looks like that they made him like the wrong size, and they had to stretch him, and he's super long and thin. And Taichi's just cross-eyed, and I mean, it's not even a low light because I noticed in this one scene and then not that much, and it's still like I prefer the episode.
But I didn't notice any of that.
Yeah, don't worry. I took screenshots of this moment in question, and it just, I mean, barely a low light because I found it funny and more than anything, and I liked the episode overall. So I'm not going to criticize it too much, but that's just something I noticed.
I will definitely take okay writing and, you know, subpar visuals over okay visuals and a terrible story any day.
Oh yeah, 100%. Like, I think that we've said that a lot in this podcast, is like, if something is well written, we can like make fun of some of the art, but at the end of the day we'll be enjoying the episode.
It's fine.
Yeah. Like, look, if something's well written, I will take anything. Like, I will take a slideshow if it's got some story. It's fine. It's going to be a talking book at that point. But anyway, so then Taichi finds a bunch of other stuff, like some useful looking stuff, and then Garbamon's like, oh, no, that's not treasure, that's just rubbish. And then Koshiro sees some noodles and he's like, oh, it's expired anyway. And then they see some like oil hardening stuff, which we have Koshiro like looking up and says, oh, this is what you use when you make tempura and you want the oil to
Chekhov's oil hardening
up,
capsules.
which becomes relevant, and I did not expect it to be relevant. I thought it was just Koshiro being smart, and then
no, it was well done.
I don't know,
like
showing it was well done, because it was like, I just thought,
it
okay, it's
was
this is the excuse so that Koshiro, and also Koshiro brings out the tablet, and Garbamon's like, I'm gonna disassemble that for my YouTube channel, and Koshiro's like, no, Garbamon, that's weird, don't do that.
I'm so sad that he didn't actually let him take it apart and upgrade it. I actually thought that's what we were going for by the end. Maybe it'll be next week.
Yeah, I mean, especially because, like, I guess I'm jumping ahead a little bit, but Koshiro finds a DIM card from the Vital bracelets.
What? Is that what that is?
So, yeah, that is 100% the Agumon DIM that's coming out. I'll get up a photo because mine hasn't arrived yet.
Okay,
because I'm waiting for a bunch. I can't remember exactly what it stands for, but it's meant to be like SIM card. Hang on, I've got a photo of the Agumon one, and it is. Yeah, it actually does stand for something, I just can't remember. But
that's awful.
It's for the Vata bracelet. So that's the Agumon one, and that is 100. But that's like shot like that dim card is exactly what we see in this episode.
It sure is.
Wow.
Which is, and especially because I have this in my little booklet that came with my. It's by the way, it's May's VPET corner now. So I'm opening up my booklet because I can't bother getting it up on the thing on the computer, but I will put this in the link dump, and I guess I'll have to show people later. But in the dim card for Agumon, which is this one, we have normal Botamon to Koromon to Agumon evolution, and then the possible adult evolutions are Greymon, Algomon, Ogumon, and Sealamon. And then for perfect, we have Metal Greymon, Andromon, Scorpiomon, Mamemon, Neo Devimon, and then Metal Tyrannomon. And then for his ultimate evolutions, War Greymon, Blitz Greymon, to be expected. And then we have done Devimon. So that's just fun. But yeah, so the dim card shows up and was kind of when later on when Garbamon says, "Oh, can I disassemble the Digivice?" I 100% just thought, "Oh, we're just getting an upgraded Digivice and it's going to accept dim cards now." Which I have no idea what the dim cards are going to be in this show. I'm not sure if they're going to be like in Cross Wars, how the zone cards were like the code crowns you could like transport and like jump through areas. Was that the code crown or was that something else when they did the zone transfer? Because that'd be kind of cool, especially because
Yeah, I forget what the summoner.
Yeah, like the area transfer, the Digimemories with the summoners.
That's
but, so I'm trying to think about how the dim card could play a part because a lot of the dims are just areas. Like we've got but the thing is, a lot of them are the dim cards. Like one of the dim cards is called Impulse City, and it's got like a city theme to it. And then we've got like the other ones aren't, so that kind of throws that theory away. But what if there's something? And I really want to know what if it's just a Toei saying, "Hey, look, Bandai made a product. Do you want to go buy it?"
Yeah, I think that's all it was supposed to be, and that's fine.
I like to imagine that in the canon of the show, this just means that someone's given up using the vital bracelet within like 2 weeks and thrown away the dim cards.
People have given up on it because but it's a fitness device, but it's like my Fitbit costs $300. This cost me less than $100, and people were kind of disappointed that it wasn't like a full fitness device. Like it's not waterproof, and like the heart rate monitor isn't as good as like a Fitbit one. But a lot of people were kind of like disappointed by it. But I thought it was. I'm enjoying it. I'm still wearing it. It's asleep at the moment, but big fan. Also, I'm not sure if you know because it's not really the area, but they released some the Tamers ones. And the way you get these is that they're online gacha. So that's fun. Sam Krieger, wonderful person, we pulled 20 together and we got everyone but Monodramon.
Oh, nice.
So that's sad. Also, there's no Terriermon one. Don't know why. I'm only assuming it's because Terriermon's going to get an adventure one or something. But anyway, so it gives Bandai lots of reason to get lots of money because they just keep on having to release these.
Yeah, I was thinking about getting one, but I don't actually think I'm going to, but sell me a VPET app. Come on.
Well, this does have an app. It works with an app, and you can like sync it up, and there's going to be online battles soon, online raids.
I don't think I need the fitness tracker part or the physical object at all. And Bandai really wants to sell me
that's
objects. Fair. Mostly because you will buy them. Yeah, because
objects... I will buy them. I will buy all of them. But anyway, so back to the episode. I'm done with my VPET science corner. Anyway, so Garbamon explains that there was some black lightning, and it stopped one day, and then rubbish started falling from the sky, and since then he's been studying the area. And then Garbamon invites him to his laboratory, and Koshiro's overjoyed, and this is when the dim card shows up. But enough on that. We've spoken about that now.
Come to my laboratory.
Yeah.
Wait, you're what now?
He's so excited.
I'm saving up to put a lab in my house.
He's so excited.
And it's gonna be so sick.
And then we will all be the Garbamons. Or you'll be the Garbamon and we'll be the Koshiro.
Yeah.
I want a tour of the lab.
It's gonna be really cool.
That sounds tight.
I'm gonna be able to like make synthetic bacteria in my home and just do my experiments during COVID. It's gonna be great.
Do some science.
Yeah.
And
then I'll make a neat gun.
Then that's pretty cool. But also America with their guns. Oh,
Anyway.
hey, I got that reference. Portal. I was thinking about that song the other day. Anyway, so Ramon then shows up, which is fairly interesting because it's an interesting Digimon show up because this was in a Koshiro episode in the original adventure where we had Ramon against Koshiro. And then we have Agumon and Tentomon evolve, and Garbamon looks really impressed by the fact that they can evolve, which, I don't know, I feel like he's a perfect level. I feel like he probably has also evolved at some point.
Yeah, but I think it was the ability to just do it on command, which I don't think anybody else can just do. Yeah. Again, I really wish that he disassembled the Digivice and upgraded it. That would have been really cool.
Yeah, and then he upgrades it into the Vital Bracelet just so he can use that dim.
Yes. Oh, just assembles a Vital Bracelet.
Oh, another thing about the DIMs is that they lock to the Vital Bracelet, so I could not... I've used my DIMs, right? I could not send them to you, Quinn.
Ah, wow. That's...
Because they're locked.
That's incredibly terrible.
Yeah, also, allegedly, there's been cases where the DIM card has been taken...
Yeah.
No, I mean, one day that will start happening, but DIM cards will be, like... inserted and then taken out before they're ready to be taken out, and they will like lock to the device, but they won't actually lock to the device, so they're just blocked, they're like bricked. And also people put them in backwards, and the same sort of thing has occurred. So
wow.
Yeah, there are some problems. So maybe this is a broken used one.
QA. I can see why people are disappointed, even if not about the fitness stuff, just the fact that they charged a decent amount of money for a seemingly pretty shoddy product.
However, they did not encrypt the thing on the DIM card.
Well, that's something at least.
So they can be put in through a micro SD card, but there's not much more I can say about that at the moment, I think.
That's neat.
Because I signed things. But anyway.
Ooh.
So, yeah, we get to see Garbamon's... No, sorry, I jumped ahead. So no attacks are working on Ramon, and Ramon gets hungry, and then because it's a Digimon Adventure episode, decides to just eat Greymon for a little bit, which is literally... Like, when was the last time we didn't have a Digimon eating another Digimon, or something involving eating, or Digimon going inside another Digimon? When was the last time we had something that wasn't that?
Yeah, we do so much of that this episode.
Yeah, and it's every episode. It's getting to the point like, okay, kind of a little bit...
immediately call BS on the fact that the oil doesn't catch fire. Like, it's a major plot point that oil doesn't catch fire, but does work with these pellets.
It does heat up.
It's special oil.
Heats up, but it's not flammable.
It's Digi-oil. But, yeah, so Ramon, like, spits or possibly poops out Greymon, and he's dirty now. And then Garbamon just wants to disassemble the Digivice, which should be happening. Like, I'm sitting here like, let him do it. Yeah. Let him do it. Let him do it. Like, please, we need upgrades.
Combine the tablet and the Digivice into one device, please. Just for Koshiro.
Please.
They don't need Digivice upgrades. They already do everything.
Yeah, they do, but
I want them to do
still
more.
At least want to see what the inside looks like. That was really cool in Frontier, to be honest.
But then, then I'd need to buy a second one though when they eventually upgrade it and release that as a toy. Oh no, Bandai, you've got me. Stop. Like, it's not fair at this point. Anyway, so Garbamon takes them back to his house. I can't. Anyway, so we find that many Tumon used to help out, but all got eaten, and now he just leaves their empty cups around, which is really, really sad. Like, this whole thing is just tragic, and it just makes me feel so bad. And we find out that Garbamon's inventing this bazooka freeze ray sort of thing to defeat the Ramon, and it's basically for revenge. And then the Black Lightning appears again, so the group leave to stop Ramon from getting to it. And then Koshiro starts vaguely hinting at his own plot background development going on here, where he's thinking about revenge and the pain of people getting left behind.
Oof.
So it's very vague, but obviously if you know that he is adopted, or maybe they're not going with adopted, maybe they're going for a different tragic background, but it's fairly vague. And if you didn't know going into it, you'd be like, this is vague and also weird because it's coming out in episode 42. So Garbamon charges in and at the Ramon and basically is sacrificing himself, but he ends up being knocked back, and then we see what Garbamon looks like without the rubbish bin, which is fairly horrifying.
Yeah.
Yeah. But yeah, so Raymon then evolves to Rare Raymon. I'm fairly certain at some point somebody called it Super Raymon, but no, it's just Rare Raymon.
I love Rare
I
Raymon.
should have probably listened to see if it was... I love that they were just like, so... Rare Raymon, so great they named it twice. I think it's so nice they named it twice. I think I ruined that saying. But anyway, it's horrifying,
so nice,
by the way. I kind of... There we are.
There you go.
You did it. And it's also really nice to see. I'm fairly certain this is another completely new Digimon. I don't even know if he's in the Pen Z. Like, he might be in the Middle Empire one, but I've not seen him before, and
it's pretty
feel
dope.
like I know a lot about virtual pets.
I was expecting you to tell me that, no, this one's been around forever, but I'm here for it.
No, this one's completely new to me, which
I think it is
does
like
not
this
have
one's debut.
Which is like, I mean, lately it's been like, okay, this Digimon is debuting, but it's been in a virtual pet, or it is currently like going to be in a virtual pet, or has just been released in a virtual pet. But no, this one's not in.
Good for them.
This one hasn't been in any. This is just a completely new thing. Like, it's the other ones that have debuted that are new, like Tropiumon, that was in the Pendulum Z, and Komodamon, that's in the Pendulum Z. This is just a really nice new Digimon that we get to see. So thanks anime.
It really is a rare Raymon, because this is the only instance of it.
It is.
True. It's a unique Raymon.
That is true. Very unique.
Might even be a legendary mon.
Maybe. Exotic Raymon. That's why it's purple.
Who was
green.
the one-off child Digimon that we were taking care of? I don't think I recognized them.
Which one?
Just the random civilians we needed to protect this episode.
Oh, the Zurumon, I think they were the babies.
There we go, yeah. Also, I might be confusing this with last week's episode, because I watched them both back to back.
No, last week it was... Oh, no, last week that was Xiaomon, the Labramon baby form.
Ah, that's what I was thinking of. I couldn't recognize
the dog head
that one, and that makes sense.
Yeah. No, that is just literally Labramon's head. Like, that's how evolution works. First you are a head, and then you grow your legs and feet and stuff. And feet and arms and stuff.
It's just
anyway.
What if tadpoles grew into
basically
Labrador car monsters?
Look, people would be a lot more horrified, and they wouldn't get puppies if the puppy was just a head. Like,
you're not wrong.
I don't think.
On the other hand, if you got a puppy,
baby
and
dogs
it
would
grew
have the
up
same
into
appeal.
A minivan, they might.
That's very useful. Like, not gonna lie. I mean, I love my dog, but imagine if he was just a minivan instead.
Exactly.
But also had the same personality. Like, useful. It's multi-purpose. But would not be able to fit on the bed or the couch.
You'd really have to train him to.
And would probably not fit in the house.
Anyway.
But he doesn't stop even when he sleeps.
See?
Anyway, so then Kabuterimon evolves to Atla Kabuterimon, and Koshiro is covered with oil, and Garbamon says that lately Raymon has been eating cars, and his body is now oil. And then Koshiro then remembers seeing the product used to solidify the oil, which is just kind of like... When I was making my notes for this episode, I didn't even write down when he discovered the oil, like, hardening stuff, because I just thought it was just some random stuff that he found, and it was just an excuse to get the tablet up so he could just look for data on things.
Mm-hmm.
So I was kind of like... I don't know, I was kind of like, we're actually doing something here. Then we have Greymon throwing a car at Rare Raymon, and then Greymon evolves to Metal Greymon. And Koshiro says that Garbamon isn't useless, and then he pulls out the oil solidifier from the cart of rubbish and takes Garbamon's bazooka to repurpose it, while Taichi throws the harden at Rare Raymon. Then, so Koshiro is just General Koshiro this episode, so Atla Kabuterimon spins Rare Raymon around to blender him.
And granted, I'd never heard of this product before, but I kept yelling at Taichi for not opening the packages.
Oh yeah, I 100% thought that surely it would be more effective if you opened the packages.
Okay, I'm glad I'm not the only one. But it works.
Anyway, like, unless they have, like, dissolvable packaging and you're meant to just throw in it, like a Tide Pod situation,
I don't know what
but then
are.
again, Taichi would be eating it.
The forbidden fruit.
Like, yeah, the most forbidden fruit, the oil solidifier. Anyway, so then we have Koshiro telling Metal Greymon to heat him up. And Metal Greymon's like, hey, but what about your Digimon? And this is like the first time I've actually said, oh, what if you're in the friendly fire zone?
It's the only time
I feel like this is
matter.
the only time I've ever mentioned it.
And
basically, Koshiro is bored of his partner Digimon. Yep. So Atlacoatomon says to go ahead, and then basically they all heat up the Rare Rammon and Atlacoatomon, but then Atlacoatomon jumps out of the way because Ultras Mode can attach the bazooka to his gun blade, and then they're going to cool and harden the oil. And this is just like...
Okay.
This is so dumb. This is ridiculous. But I love this. I don't know why. It's just really cool. Like, Koshiro is upgrading a Digimon use a bazooka to fire ice out of his dumb gunblade.
It's very Nomura.
Like, I've never been so
honest.
like. It's just.
It feels like it would
so
be the plot
good.
of a
Like, I mean, it's
stupid.
stupid. Or and like, yeah, what it's. I just.
Well,
I love this so much. It's just so hard to explain
so
because
stupid.
like
I
part
love
of me
it.
is just like, this is so stupid. It is absolutely stupid. Like, but it's something I love. Like, it's not just like the Metal Marmimon episode, which I know I mention that all the time because that was just stupid. That was a case of me saying this is stupid and I hate it. But the Gunblade Bazooka Cannon Ice Missile Launcher, that is great. That is just so like,
Honestly,
okay,
it's a
Kosher is
shame it
being
wasn't
smart.
a permanent upgrade.
I want it to be. Like, if this is just Ultras Mode Plus, like...
Wouldn't that be good?
And now he just fires ice?
Well, and
That'd be
just
so
the
good.
idea
And then
that Koshiro
we
just
now...
makes upgrades for everybody, and that's the mode change for the others. That would so good.
But also, give Lilymon a bazooka. Give Lilymon a bazooka.
Give Lilymon a bazooka. Oh my god. Please, you literally gave someone a bazooka,
like Koshiro.
and it wasn't Lilymon.
Like, it's just, you get a bazooka, you get a bazooka. Like,
Everybody
give
gets
everyone
a bazooka.
bazookas. Like, can you just imagine Garudamon holding, like, a shotgun or a bazooka or something? Just, like, that would be
Honestly,
so cool.
If
like,
Koshiro doesn't just head back into the adventure carrying a small armory in Komodomon, I'm gonna be real pissed.
He's like, I don't want to be the brains anymore. I want to be the weapons guy. And he just comes along with like a cart full of weapons everywhere. Like he's like, he's like, I have just a thing.
Yeah.
And he has like different inventions. And Garbamon's also there.
He did the Matrix I need guns, lots of guns scene, but with Garbomon.
Yeah, he has all of them. Like, please. And also, why couldn't just Garbamon come along with them? Like,
Right?
I don't think I've cared this much about like they gave him such a personality that made me like, they have to use him again. Like, this is too much personality.
Yeah.
Like, this is more personality than a lot of the cast has had the opportunity.
Sora with Garbomon.
Yeah, basically. Or just, here's an idea. Get rid of Sora, pair of Biomon up with Garbamon.
Yes.
Maybe not.
Garudamon just walks around with a rubbish can and just sort of just grabs like the lid and just starts slamming people in the head with it. Basically, and then Garbamon could disassemble Digivice. We solved it. But anyway, yes, it's very clear. I really enjoyed this episode, and I think I enjoyed it more talking about it than when I actually watched it. Like, I think, like, I came out of it saying that I enjoyed that episode, but now talking about it, I'm like, yeah, bazooka, cannon, yes. It just made me,
was pretty glorious,
turned me into a big dumb child. It was great, and I love that. Like, I like when Digimon is stupid, but meaningfully stupid. Like, not just like, hey, Metal Marmimon, they bounce like balloons now, apparently. That's just, and we're just falling for like 30 minutes doing nothing. Like, that's stupid. This one is just like somehow passable,
It's
and I like it. Anyway.
Stupid. It's not just stupid, it's extra.
It's so ridiculously extra. Like, this is what I like about Digimon, where it's just like, I don't know, there's just a bazooka on a blade gun. Do more of that, please, Digimon.
Well,
Random, stupid Digimon stuff.
As many mistakes as this show has made, I'm really grateful that in the 42nd episode, Koshiro is still doing tactical things, and we aren't just blowing things up.
Yeah. Yeah, it's very much, I'm so glad it's not just like, hey, have you tried attacking harder? Like, this is so much more than that. It's just like...
There have been significant improvements on the formula here. Like, you know,
have you tried
ways,
doing a science?
Yeah. Have we tried having the smart guy do science?
Yep. Yeah, like, is it just me or like the majority of Koshiro episodes pretty good?
Yeah, Koshiro and Mimi should be the Matt and Tai. Give me the Koshiro and Mimi show.
And I feel like Takeru's had some good episodes too.
He has. It's really mostly Sora and Hikari who have gotten just completely shafted.
Yamato? Yamato.
with Tailmon.
Yeah, like Hikari, I would pass as like she has had a character, but Yamato, I don't know anything about him that's not related to Takaru.
He does
Gabumon.
like to yell Takaru.
Like, we know that Takaru is a little bit of a crybaby. That's fine. We know that he's kind of hopeful. That's kind of like his shtick. But I could not tell you something about Yamato other than just like, he likes his brother a lot.
Yeah, he doesn't like other people. He's kind of autistic coded, I guess, maybe?
But I don't imagine them going down that path because I don't think Japan does that with their media. But like, if they did something like that, that'd be cool. That's like a thing.
For it.
But no, he's just edgy, I guess. And likes to be alone.
Mato's always been defined by his relationships with other people, and we've only really seen him interact with Takaru and Gabumon to any serious degree.
Yeah, remember like the time where he was just separate from Takaru, so he was just like running through a desert on Garurumon's back, and that was just what he did for like 10 episodes.
Mm-hmm. He went through a desert that was great. With a name.
Yeah, I like that. Anyway, so we get like one of those crayon color sketch like screens, which are really nice, but it's weird that we didn't get it at the very end. Like usually it's like the last shot, but we don't. It's not the last shot, so it's like Takaru, not Takaru, Koshiro, the other Takaru, holding Chumon, and it's really nice. And then we get the characters talking.
Out of the best screen.
Yeah. Which, like, Gabumon was the main character. It was weird that it was Chumon. But anyway, so we get the characters talking, and Gabumon and Koshiro are both thankful for each other. And then Koshiro tells Gabumon to not be haunted by revenge and just to continue his research and study. And then they hold hands, and then Chumon also holds their hands too, and evolves to Searchmon, which, interestingly, is Wormmon with the Digimental of Knowledge, by the way.
I did notice that there was a really prominent Digimental of Knowledge on the Searchmon's back.
Yeah, it's right there.
Yeah, which is kind of like, it's almost like he sort of gave his crest to Chumon when they held hands. I think that's
what we're supposed to kind of believe, because they explicitly say, oh, you evolved because you wanted to be like Koshiro. And I think
which is cute.
I'm at least guessing we're tying that into the whole he can literally just spit straight facts and glow.
But that was Joe.
That was Joe.
Hasn't it been both of them now? Because Koshiro did the same
Joe
thing.
did it the most.
Yeah, but we've now done it.
He didn't glow though.
That's true.
Straight facts thing.
Yeah, I don't know.
Like,
I feel
Joe entered the Avatar state.
That's fair. But I feel like this is, at least in my mind, related to that, because they really explicitly called out, oh yeah, Koshiro was involved in that happening.
Yeah.
So
I mean, there's something about like, I'm sure there's a metaphor for, hard facts being the most important thing in a digital space, but I can't really put it down into words. But there's something there.
Of literally Faga and fake news being the bad guys.
Yeah, basically. You fight fake news with hard facts.
Yep, you just gotta
like
spit
poetry.
Straight facts.
They did solidify
the epic rap battles of history.
Where is Millenniumon?
Still coming back.
I would think so.
Scattered around, but we're not finding them in these.
Yeah, we've delayed Millenniumon coming back twice now, maybe, and
to have some characters.
God, we could have done so much if we'd just done a time skip to Millenniumon.
Also, I think this episode is probably taking place at the same time as episode 41.
I could believe that.
Maybe. So I guess it's less bad.
But Tai Chi's in both.
No, he's not.
They split up right at the beginning of one.
Yeah, because they were like, 40. We're going to look for food. Yeah, and then then this one, they're like, we're going to scout out the campsite to see what's around for any danger.
Yeah, no, I would assume those are happening pretty much simultaneously.
My brain's just lumping all the filler into like one collective episode mess.
That's fair.
At least the filler's good. Like, at least I'm enjoying the filler.
Fine.
Yeah, I mean, it's filler, but I enjoyed it more than most of the plot, so more 100%. Filler, please.
Yeah, and also we're learning about the characters. It's very late in the show, but at least we're getting it.
Yeah, I hesitate to even call it filler, because while it doesn't progress the plot, it progresses characters more than maybe any other episode.
Yeah, if you skipped out on the filler, which, is just this chunk of episodes, apparently, you'd probably not enjoy the show because the characters would have no development or very little development.
Imagine waiting till episode 40 to actually write anything for your characters.
Right? It's pretty unconscionable.
Yeah, that is a weird thing. Remember when we were fighting Digimon and, like, most of the characters weren't there?
Yep.
Because the characters haven't...
Most of the characters were barely aware of it. And still pretty much are.
I don't think that they ever knew.
They exchanged stories off
screen a couple... for no reason.
Yeah. Taichi got Vord.
He did.
That's happened
anyway.
Okay with
at least half a dozen times.
Yeah, Vord happens a lot. Mm-hmm. Anyway, so we have Searchmon, and then the episode ends. And in the encyclopedia, weirdly enough, we get introduced to Nanimon, and Koshiro says some weird things, which are kind of like Koshiro's allowed to think whatever he likes, but he's just like, well, Nanimon's really manly and macho, and then he makes a dad joke, and he's like, I made a dad joke. And then we find out we're going to learn about Golemon next.
Okay, then.
We're just taking random Digimon now.
I'm here for it, to be honest.
We ran out of all
one episode with Mimi.
Yeah, I mean, like, but yeah, it is random as in, like, just... Well, at least Golemon was a character. Nanimon being introduced is weird because I don't think he really did anything. He was just kind of there, and Joe was in the onsen with him, or with many of him.
I guess
it is random in the...
More into, like, who's that Pokemon? Instead of spoilers for the episode.
Yeah.
Which I like, but as soon as we're going... Yeah, but as soon as we go back to the plot, we know that we'll have, like, and who will it be next week? And it's like Hercules Kabuterimon or something.
It'll be like Saber Leomon, because Leomon will come back.
I don't think Leomon's coming back, and I don't want him to, because then it's, again, different from the original series if we just don't have him come back. But that is a loose end, though.
He's coming back, or I'll be very surprised, given that they explicitly said he's coming back.
Did they?
Yeah, they were like, I'm sure we'll see him again. And I'm like, literally how?
I thought that was just like, oh, don't worry, he's gone to a farm with all the other Leomon. Like...
Oh my god, he's literally just Aslan.
Yeah, I think that's like, no, it's that the trope is like the sacrificial lion. Like, that's kind of like a thing.
It is.
They're just like, big, strong dude dies.
I don't know. I feel like dying off screen is a little much even for Digimon.
I'm fairly certain it's happened multiple times, but I can't remember. Where the Digimon... Yeah, Sukamon died off screen.
Well, yeah, I meant Leomon
made sense
in
because it was...
I feel like it's not going to die off screen.
He came back to life off screen in the original.
It's true.
He was like, yeah, I did die,
hand,
but
after
also I
watching how
evolved.
lovingly they murdered him in Try...
That was great.
It really was.
I was so surprised.
They gave him a love interest for the express purpose of having the love interest be the one who murdered him.
It's great.
He didn't even come back after the reboot.
Nope.
They call that
Never
one out.
again. Yeah. Anyway, so, and that's the episode. Alright, now that we've discussed the synopsis, let's discuss the discussion points. So what were our highlights in this episode? Because mine were clearly just everything.
Be the winners. Just get it out the window.
That is true.
Also, the music before Be the Winners was really good as well.
The music in general has been strong this season.
I would agree with that. I forgot that we had a new ending theme. That was fun.
Oh yeah.
It's still my favourite.
Yeah, I like it. It is growing on me, but the second one's still my favourite.
I think this one might be my favourite of the three.
It is nice.
We've had 4.
And the animation's kind of cute.
Haven't we? Yeah, we've had 4.
Oh, wow.
Yeah, this is the 4th.
Well, one of them was really
the first one, which was
Yamato.
Yeah, the first one. The first one was very.
That's right.
But the first one was incredibly forgettable because it was just like, this is Yamato and this is his brother. We haven't met the brother yet though, and we won't for about 20 episodes. But this is his brother, and that was really forgettable. And then the second one was my favorite. It was the kaleidoscope trippy one that Evie hates. And then we had the. I just really like it. And then we have the third one, which is they're all dressed up and Hikari is a sacrifice.
Mm-hmm.
And now we have this one.
Mm-hmm.
And we still have the same opening.
The same really not that great opening.
Yeah, I mean, I liked it the first time, like the first, chunk of episodes, and now I'm just kind of like, we're still focusing on Taichi? Yeah, anyone else want to do something? I mean, I know that the original only had one opening and one animation and never updated it.
But
and I guess they're kind of trying to do that, but no, it's not a good decision. Just
and the original did
keep
update
the song, but give us
at least the visuals.
No, only the dub.
Oh, okay.
The dub added in like Myotismon being creepy and Tailmon just jumping like with the crest of light around her neck. But the original kept it the same with Devimon and without Hikari, but the ending did upgrade. Hilariously, the ending upgraded, like, the episode before you found out that Hikari and Tailmon were the eighth child
that's what
Digimon
I'm thinking of,
pair.
was the ending upgrade.
Yeah, but yeah, the opening could do with an update. But any highlights?
So specific highlights. I really appreciated that we Chekhov's weird oil pellet things. That was cool.
That was nice.
Takaru having to think was nice.
I'm glad they explained it and it wasn't just like, oh yeah, these things, the things that everyone has around their house. Because yeah, I've never used this product.
Yeah. No, it sounds useful though.
Sounds very useful.
I think I got distracted during that bit because I was confused how like ramen noodles were hardening oil.
No, it was the next thing after the noodles. The noodles were expired, and then Koshiro was like, "Oh my gosh, these things harden oil."
Yeah,
I thought they were just throwing ramen packets into it.
No, it wasn't ramen. Ramen packets would not make sense.
I kind of like that.
Yeah, Garbomon was just pretty great. I liked him having someone to look up to. He has a role model.
I liked how Koshiro and Garbomon both looked up to each other. It wasn't just like Koshiro really liked Garbomon or Garbomon really liked Koshiro. It was them both looking up to each other.
Yeah, it was really
And
sweet.
it was just really nice to see one of the characters bond with a Digimon that's not only not their partner Digimon, but is just sort of like the Mon of the Week sort of character that they meet, which is really nice. Like, I can't remember the last time that we had, you know, the Digimon we meet that's not a terrible Digimon that is just so likable or so much of a character. Like, I really liked Komodamon, but Komodamon doesn't really have a character. I really liked Lotmon, but again, her character was just kind of the plot. But Garbomon, I just really enjoyed being there. And also, last time we saw Garbomon was in the original adventure and just was throwing poop at Mimi, and Mimi caught it midair and threw it back. Like, Garbomon's not a good Digimon in previous seasons, so it was really nice to see this Digimon is just a good Digimon. That is nice. I like that. Thanks, Digimon.
Yeah, it was just a really solid all-around episode. It was well written. If every episode were as well written as this one was, it would be my favorite season of Digimon. I
wish every episode was like this, or at least like almost as good as this. Like, even then, it would still be good because this episode was, I really liked it. Like, I don't have any, like, you know, particular highlights because I just enjoyed a lot of the episode. It was interesting seeing the dim cards. I wonder how we're going to go with that. I wonder if it's just like, I hope it's not just like they thought that it would be cool to put it in as like a little Easter egg, but they made such like a thing about like, oh, Koshiro, you can keep it. Like, I want to know what we're going to do with the dim cards. Like, that's kind of interesting. But yeah,
I forget, did that do anything this episode, or did he just find it?
Nah, he just got it. Like, he was like, oh, what's this? And Garbomon's like, oh, it's junk, you can have it. Like, that was it. And it's just weirdly the Agumon dim, which is weird because, like, a new Digimon debuted with the Vital Bracelet called Pulsemon, who just looks like he's meant to be an Atmon. It's weird that we didn't find that dim. We found the Agumon dim instead.
That is odd.
Any other highlights?
Go buy the Agumon one.
I already did.
Buy it again, says Colin.
No, I'm waiting for a Palmon one. I want
that
a Palmon
come
one.
Out in Pal regions.
Which is me.
Yeah.
I get it. That's good. I like. Which means I get Palmon. I don't care. That's the only one. Also, an Atmon dim would be nice. I feel like it would work really well for what they're doing. I'd like that. But yes. Any other thoughts that are positive?
All the empty mugs just makes me think of Les Miserables and empty chairs and empty tables.
Oh, you're not wrong.
Yeah, that is right.
I would have liked if Garbomon just started singing. That would have been fun.
Yeah. I mean, can I say a highlight was the fact that, like, the empty mugs was kind of sad and kind of heartbreaking?
Yeah.
Like, no, it's not a highlight as in it didn't make me feel good, but it's something that it made Garbomon have a personality and a reason for inventing something to defeat Ramon. Like, why else would he really care that Ramon's there other than just is in his way?
Oh my god.
Like, oh no, he ate his friends.
It was lab rats. He had tons of lab rats.
Yeah,
that's literally what they were. Oh,
a little bit.
Yeah, but they were his friends. They were his friend lab rats.
Oh, I like that.
Me too, but it still breaks my heart. Like, the empty mugs, like that it's really, it made me feel things, and Digimon Adventure Colon has not made me feel a lot, which is, yeah. Any other highlights? Are we ready for lowlights?
I'm out of highlights, but I also don't have any lowlights.
I don't think I have any lowlights. Like, I can't even mention the animation as a lowlight because I just don't care. Like, I don't really care about the animation being good or bad. Like, if the episode's good, I don't care. And I mean, even if the episode's bad, I don't particularly care. But I just don't have any lowlights that... I mean, the only one I could think of as a lowlight is why are we only getting Koshiro's character 42 episodes into the show?
Mm-hmm.
Like, or like, you know, more of a backstory. Like, we've had sort of like little bits, but this is still like, we're not getting a lot. And this is, we're only introducing characters as characters now.
The finally, even though it's way too late, teasing something with Koshiro being adopted finally was well executed. So I'm going to put that in as a last highlight.
Yeah, like, oh no, I totally agree. But if I had to go for any lowlights, it would be more of a lowlight for the whole show.
Yeah.
Rather than this episode.
Yeah, we meandered.
So yeah, Evie, any lowlights?
No.
Yeah.
I didn't really get, like, the tease that he was adopted. I thought he was just thinking about, like, Garbamon's motivations being revenge.
Yeah, but then he sort of links it to himself, like, how he's, like, the pain of being left alone. Mm-hmm. And that's because, like, you know, he was an orphan.
I thought that
so
could
it's
just
very,
be him being isolated, because he's
so
on his computer
very vague.
So,
yeah, well, it's vague.
Yeah.
Like, which is good.
You
like,
can
they're
link
not...
it back to his parents if you've seen the original series. Otherwise, you're kind of just like, okay, why?
Well,
yeah.
I mean, he's also
yeah, that's what I meant when I
talking
at the start.
About his parents a few times.
Yeah, but it's been like cut off, or you know, it's been like in the middle of a fight, and he's been like, "Oh, maybe I shouldn't talk about this right now because I'm about to die."
Yeah.
It's just super
sort
vague.
of thing. Oh yeah, it is very vague, but it is like they're dropping sort of hints.
He's had exactly one thing going on all season, so it's probably that one thing.
And like the knowledge thing, and how he like was relying on his tablet too much. Like that was a cool thing. I like that thing.
That's true.
Is Azumi literally the Japanese word for knowledge, by the way?
I don't think so, but I know that I know that Ko is light. I'm fairly certain that the first kanji in his name is light.
I was just confused because like at one point Gabumon and Koshiro were talking and they were saying Izumi, and like the subtitles said knowledge, and I was just confused.
Hang on, let me look at his name. No, Izumi is spring. Now I'm looking at it. I'll just double check that because I want to make sure. I'll put that into a dictionary. I'm pretty sure it's like as like spring or well. So it might have been like the well of knowledge was mentioned in this episode. No, I was right. Izumi is spring or fountain. So I'm fairly certain they mentioned like a fountain of knowledge at some point in this episode. And Koshiro is light child guy. Yeah, it's light child guy. That's so. I love Japanese names. That's so weird.
But yeah, I think they were
so
definitely trying to draw
and
a parallel to the Spring of Knowledge being his last name as the spring.
Yeah, so it is the Izumi of knowledge. So they're saying the Izzy of knowledge, basically. Which, yeah, so Izumi is spring or fountain, and Koshiro is light child guy.
Well guy fountain.
So, well guy fountain. I think that's like mansplaining. Like, no, it's like, well, actually. Like, Izumi's got the crest of mansplaining.
It kind of does.
Yeah.
Oh, no.
So, do we have any other lowlights, or can we move on to favourite characters?
No, Hercules Kabuterimon. I would like to see
I'm kind of glad.
Yeah.
Soon.
I'm kind of glad that we're not rushing into evolutions again.
Mm-hmm.
I just want
it is
someone
weird that...
besides Taichi to get one.
Yeah.
Because Taichi's had 2.
And I think... But Taichi's forgotten that he can.
He doesn't need to, because, like, all his friends doing it.
Also, the bad guys are just perfect levels.
Exactly.
Which is, like... And also, I think we've made the Ultimate Evolutions kind of, like, special. Like, you can't just pull them out whenever you want, which I like that. I like that they've kind of made it, like, it's a timed thing, like it was an Atmon, or you have to meet certain requirements, or it actually does take it out of the Digimon. I know, I like it. So, favourite character, mine will not surprise you, it was Gabumon, because Gabumon was just surprised me in this episode. I did not expect to like Gabumon. I just really liked that character. Like, well done, you made me care about a character that's not the main cast. Mm-hmm. Cool. Evie, who was your favourite?
Let's give it to Koshiro. Why not?
That's fair. And Quinn?
I think I'm gonna go Gabumon.
Gabumon?
Yeah.
Yep. I keep on hearing Gabumon whenever like somebody says Gabumon, and I'm keeping like
fair.
I'm so glad that Gabumon was not in this episode because I'd have such a hard time just like hearing if are you talking about Gabumon, the one in the rubbish, or are you talking about the one in the pelt? Anyway, so for ratings. My rating will not shock you. I gave this episode a 5 out of 5. I really liked it. Like, it was originally a 4, and then when I was writing my review post about this earlier, it was a 4.5. But now after, like, thinking about this episode again and talking about it, I'm like, that's a 5. That is so much better than a lot of the episodes.
Yeah.
But that will never shock anyone, my ratings.
5 for me as well.
It's
Wow.
a 5? And Evie?
I gave it 3.
Wow.
I just wasn't that excited by it. It's just
I just really
fine.
liked it.
There was decent writing. That's all it takes for me.
Yeah, 100.
Yeah, but,
there
like-
was decent anything for me.
Decent is not a 5. Decent is still a 3, even if it's being compared to like an overall pretty rubbish show.
Which is what it is. Like, if comparing any of these episodes to Atmon,
Like for Colin,
I feel
this
like
is a 5. For Digimon in general, it's a 3.
oh yeah, I
fair.
would agree with that. Like, compared with Atmon or maybe Tamers or Savers, like any of my favorite seasons, I would agree, and I give this a 3.
curve.
But I'm rating this. Yeah, I'm definitely rating this as its own season because otherwise I'd be giving 2s and 3s because a lot of these episodes they're just okay. Like for the past chunk of episodes, which I have given high ratings for, I feel like if it was in any other season of Digimon besides like the ones I don't really care that much about or I have complaints about, like Frontier. Like, all of these episodes are 5s compared to Frontier, by the way, because they care about their female characters. That's nice.
There
But
wasn't
compared
one this
to...
episode.
Yeah, but for most of the season, like, Mimi has a personality, which is nice. Hikari now has a personality. That's nice. But the thing is, like, yeah, if this was an episode of Atmon, it would be a 3. It'd be like, the episode was okay. Have no complaints. But a lot of Atmon I really liked. So whenever I'm rating an episode of this season, I'm rating it in this season. Like, that's why I give a lot of 5s, because some of these episodes are just better than a lot of the other ones. But yeah, so that's why I gave it a 5. So overall, that means it is a 13, which, do we have any other... do we not have any other 13s? Oh, I'm excited. That makes my life... Pardon?
We must have a 13 somewhere.
We have a 13.5. I don't think we have a 12.5. We don't have a 13. Oh, this is the best day of my life. Oh my gosh. Oh, this is so... I'm so happy I don't have to think. Okay, so it's between episode 12 and episode 38. This is great. This is so great. Wait, episode 6 is between 12 and 38. What did episode 12 get? 13.5. Okay, cool. So that means that it is above episode 38 in our overall ranking, which is the Blazing Blue Friendship. And where am I putting this? What I put? So it is now in 7th place, and I'm actually going to move it up, I think, a little bit, maybe. Nope, I'm going to leave it in my personal ranking where it is. So yes, speaking of which, my personal ranking, it was actually in 12th place, which is just under episode 37, Mimi-chan Wars, and just above episode 16, the Jet Black Shadow invades Tokyo. But I feel like it could probably go higher than that. I might adjust that after the show because I really did like this episode. I like it more the more I talk about it and the more I think about it. This episode was just chef's kiss. I like the Koshiro episodes. Evie, where are we putting episode 42?
Put it between 11 and 26. So it's kind of
11
like
and 20.
lower
Yep.
middle.
Yep, I found it. So yeah, that means that it is in 23rd place. And Quinn, where are we putting episode 42?
So I'm going to be controversial and put it in first place.
That is fair. Like, the more I think about it, the closer I am to putting it in, like, first place. Because this was... I think I might put it in first place. I think you've swayed me. I really did. Like,
Wow.
As I said, I like this episode more and more the more I think about it. Like, it was just... It had a lot of elements that a lot of episodes of Digimon should have. It had a character that the Mon of the Week that has a character. It had our own characters getting development. It had a character using tactics. It had weird Digimon physics that weren't terrible. It had a lot that I just really liked about this episode. It's just I liked this was a good episode for me. Like, I would like more of this.
Are you sure both
episodes
of you
that
don't
actually
have Stockholm syndrome?
maybe well, as I said, we are rating this season compared to the other
this
episodes
is the
in this
best
season, which are
episode
not
of
good.
this season, in my opinion.
Like, you know, when you have the only food in the house you have is expired food, but you have to eat, you will die. You will go for the least expired one.
Also, I just
Like,
even by the
or
standards of
if
Atmon,
you-
I would have given this like a 4.
Yeah, like, well, yeah. It's not as good as a lot of Atmon, but it is still a good episode. Like,
It'd be, you know,
But-
in the top quarter.
yeah. But in terms of this season, it is definitely one of the best.
Yeah.
Like, it's probably one of the only episodes that actually deserves a 5 in this show out of all the 5s that I've given.
I would agree with that.
Like, and I've given a lot of 5s. Like, Soaring Hope, good episode. Hikari and Tailmon, good episode. Lilymon Blossoms, good episode. The King of Insects Clash, good episode. Zudamon's Iron Hammer of Lightning, good episode. Those were good episodes. This one is also a good episode. This one is probably better than those. Even maybe Lilymon Blossoms, which is still A+ episode. So good. I love having Mimi get mad. Anyway.
I don't know.
So-
This just felt like the bare minimum of what I'd expect from Digimon.
Oh yeah, absolutely. But
I
I'm
mean, I wish
past
that
the
it
point
could
of
be.
expecting. Yeah, if this is, I know I say this every time we get an episode that's like that. It not just me seems to enjoy, but if this is like the worst episode that we have going forward, the rest of the show can be perfect. But I know I say that like at least every 10 episodes. I'm pretty sure I said the exact same words at the end of episode 32. I was just like, you know, if this is the worst episode going forward, I think we're going to be all right. And I think I also said that episode 15, let's be fair. So,
Yeah, and then that's
Yeah,
the thing.
that
It's
all
a real
happens.
big if.
like, next episode could be the worst. It's got Edamon apparently in it, so that may not be too terrible, but also the dub Edamon was better than the non-dub Edamon, so
That's true.
I don't know. But yeah, we could go completely bad from here. We could go like every episode is just like worse than episode 18, worse than episode 25, worse than episode 10, worse than episode 30. Like, it could go worse, but I don't want it to. I want to be hopeful. I want to say I still would really like to re-evaluate my ratings.
I think that would be a
But
good idea.
no episode has made me... Yeah.
I will say I at least believe
think-
we're past the point where
Yeah.
we're gonna get like episode 18 or whatever, where we had the weird storyboard and Omegamon thing happening for no reason.
I think we're done with that Omegamon. Like,
God,
no more.
Please. I'm expecting
You
them
say
to pull
that.
Omegamon
Like-
out for the last battle, to be honest. Probably. a
I
villain.
know things. I know things,
Do you?
but I can't say because they're still... Like, even though the things were in Digivice things, I can't say things.
That's fine. But yeah, I am expecting a new Omegamon mode at some point because it's Digimon and that's apparently a contractual requirement.
New to this season or new to the franchise?
I'm gonna
That
probably
feels
say
like a
new to the
loaded
franchise.
No, I'm just generally curious about what... I know the answer, but I'm just curious.
Yeah, I feel like we could do with a 14th Omegamon mode is a thing an executive said somewhere.
There are so many Omegamon modes.
Just it's Omegamon
Like-
colon mode.
We get a new Omegamon every year at this point.
It's like Star Wars movies.
It's just a little bit. Yeah.
It's like
a
Final
little bit
Fantasy.
much now.
We're up to the 15th one of the final
Yeah, I just want
fantasy.
I want the final Omegamon. I never want to see Omegamon again. I think
Omegamon.
I know
we're
Ogamon's the
seriously
mascot,
done
but
mode.
please, like fall down mode. Fall down and just get out of my
Done
eyesight.
Omegamon.
No Megamon.
Please. Anyway, so on to the questions. First up, we have Seth, who says that they loved Angelmon's new attack sequence because it highlighted the Holy Ring, which I completely missed that, but thank you for pointing that out. Like,
That was well
I
done.
missed it. It's kind of nice that we actually see it. Next, we have JCMon05, who says, no swan boat ride for Yamato. That was a missed opportunity to win brownie points with nostalgic viewers to make up for lack of timely, fulfilling character development. And yeah, I kind of want the swan boat too, but you have to link it with Mimi sort of story arc, because the swan boat was sort of there as well. I don't know. I still think there's time for swan boat time. Next, we have Sleek Emu 7, who says that they feel like every time there's a character episode, they will be put on the side and get nothing to do after their episode, making them kind of forgotten. Does anybody remember what Izzy was doing? They almost forgot that he was in the show. I never forget because we get like an update of Izzy saying things every episode.
He saved the ISS and then was unable to tell
Which they
anyone
remembered
about
happened in
it.
this episode. Yeah. Next we have Milton, who says that last episode, they said they assume that this is a Patamon Champion Evolution episode with Angemon, meaning we only have 7 Mega episodes to go and 1 Ultimate episode for Takaru. Although it's still weird that they love to show OP Angemon when technically Angemon should be able to do much more than him. And this episode pretty much shows that Angemon is superior to Pegasusmon.
Well, yeah.
And yeah, I think we kind of already knew that because Angemon is the holy Digimon.
Yeah.
But yeah, there's not a lot of time for evolution episodes now because we've got 24 more episodes or 23 more episodes now. 1 in 3
episodes needs to debut an evolution.
Yeah. And then, if we have Blitzgreymon, do we have any other alternate evolutions? So we tack on a few of those. We don't have much left of the show. I'm assuming we're going to have 1 additional character moment episode for the cast. Koshiro's now had his glowy evolution episode as well as his just character evolution, so I'm assuming the next one is going to be the evolution episode.
I would think so.
And I think who's next? I think we've got Mimi to have her character evolution episode. We've had her glowing evolution
Sora
episode.
Needs her first anything episode.
No, we had Sora in the Tropiumon episode. But it would be nice for her to have a character.
It felt like she borrowed a Taichi episode.
But at least Taichi got Vored again. Or was about to be Vored.
Is that a good thing?
Which keeps happening. No.
Then why bring it up?
Next. But it meant that he was out of action and couldn't be in the episode. Anyway, so next we have Child Emperor, who said that they burst out laughing when the balloon showed up with Takaru's face saying Oni-chan. Even the show know that it was all he used to say. Imagine waking up to an alarm saying Oni-chan over and over again. That's horrifying. That's a horrifying thought. Please don't do that again.
Text message sound for a bit.
Lastly, we have Ritster, who says that they like how in flashbacks the heights are more realistic. Younger Takaru isn't really all that much smaller than young Yamato, but current day there were shots where the top part of Takaru's head lined up with Yamato's belt line. It makes Yamato literally look like the height of 2 Takarus. And yeah, that was nice. And also, I guess Yamato just had his growth spurt and Takaru is still kind of at the age where they're just all the same height for a little while.
How long ago was this that Takaru can remember it? But was how old was Takaru supposed to be in that?
I want to say 6 on the basis that Yamato looks like he's about Takaru's age.
I suppose.
So maybe it's been, or maybe a little bit older. So maybe if Yamato's 11 in now and Takaru's 8, and then this was 2 years ago, Yamato's 9 and Takaru's 6.
Okay.
I feel like it was 2 years ago, so it's
that works.
It's still kind of hazy, I guess, for Takaru, but enough that he has memories of it.
We're gonna go on the merry-go-round, etc.
Yeah, and also why Takaru remembers it probably as a happy time, and Yamato probably doesn't. Yamato probably knew that something was going on with his parents.
Oof, you're not wrong.
Alright everyone, so thanks for joining us this time. You can join us next time for episode 43, Clash, the King of Digimon. Do we have any predictions other than what we kind of saw in the preview?
It'll be fun, but little of actual importance will happen.
Yeah, that's every episode for the past 5 episodes. Also, I saw Mimi having a thing in the preview. She was holding her Digivice.
Ooh.
So I really hope that this is her, next character episode.
Oh, that'd be really good.
Karaoke.
She needs some glowy or a bazooka.
Oh, I would kind of, love if this is the karaoke episode. She has, a karaoke off with Edamon.
Oh, God. Please.
I think I am just going to draw Lilymon with a bazooka.
Because Edamon is the king, and she's just no, but I am the queen of the digital world, and I will not be defeated by you. I want that.
But Volcamon's there, so that will mess things up.
He's also an announcer sort of thing with a microphone, right?
Yeah.
So that's cool.
He's like Metal Atamon, except not technically.
He's just metal.
Yeah.
And based on an actual person. But yeah, I shouldn't have hopes for the next episode. But I think I'm going to be disappointed if it's anything other than a karaoke competition between Edamon and Mimi, to be honest.
That's valid. I hope that Mimi doesn't do some corporate propaganda again.
And if she does, I hope that it's, my theory on it being it's just her parroting what she's heard and the corporations are actually bad or something. I still don't think we're going to get that, but if we do, I feel like it would be a good time to drop that now, especially if her grandfather is just Millenniumon or something. Like, still on board with that theory, BT
Grandpa
Dubs.
owns L Corp.
He is Fargo.
Your grandfather is fake news.
Wow. But I don't have many predictions other than just like, please, can it be good?
Yep.
Which is like every week. Anything else?
I'm about to fall asleep, so no.
Yeah, me too. So let's do that. Let's continue on with me attempting to do the outro, and then I can get this episode out, or semi out in the unedited form. So yes, the link dump's linked in the description, and so is our Redbubble. And I will say that word again because I frequently struggle with it. Description.
Ooh.
You can contact us and stay updated. You can email us at LostinTranslationmon.com. I've already stuffed up. It's LostinTranslationmon@gmail.com, where you can send us spam. Not LostinTranslationmon.com, but that's our website, which you can also check out because that's where our blog posts are and where I post lots of other things like the videos. I share them from YouTube onto the website because technology is amazing. You can also follow us at @Translationmon on Twitter, and you can find us on Lost in Translationmon on Tumblr, Facebook, Instagram, and YouTube. We also have and I'm going to say this word, discussion thread on With the Will. And we also have one in the Digimon subreddit. Look at me saying words. And if you were to review us on Apple Podcasts, Stitcher, and any other podcast I want to say podcast app, but then I want to say podcast catcher, and I almost just said podcast crapture. So do that, and if you leave a rating, we'll read it out on the show. You can also donate to our Patreon, which is also linked in the description, from as little as $1 a month. And that gets you access to a listener Discord server, but there are higher levels like unedited episodes and early episodes and more, so check that out. And of course, thank you to our current supporters on Patreon, Joe, Stephen Reeves, who's Wildly64 on Archive Our Own. Please tell us whatever the tag is that we were talking about earlier with the various interests that this show has. Anyway, so Kadawashi, Chisai, who can follow at Twitter at Chisai236, and I've got some cool commission art coming from Chisai, super excited. Kyle, Lismet, who's a Lekmon on Tumblr, Nicholas, Metal Maimon, Sam, Anthony, Keith from Gone Will Hunting, a Hunter x Hunter Rewatch podcast, Silverhead Freak 25, Magnus, Lucas, Blindman, Jason105, and Patrick. You can also make a one-off donation on PayPal, which can also be found linked in the description. And that's paypal.me/Ergemon. Or you can also donate to me on my Ko-fi account, also linked in the description, which is ko-fi.com/Erdra. I did stumble at the start.
Sorry.
What'd I say?
I'm making fun of Chi with the watermark.
Huh.
Anyway.
Oh, is that what that was?
Yeah.
Wait, that's what you were saying. I just thought...
ko-if, yeah.
Oh, no. Oh, no. I was half upset.
Anyway, my bad.
So yes, so that's the thing. I did the outro, and then my brain just died for a second there. But I think I did better than I have before, and I think that's just the show in general. Like, Digimon Adventure did a little bit better, and then I did a little bit better with my outro. I'd love to see a chart if that...
We invite you to do a little bit better.
Yes, everyone do a little bit better today, and tell someone about the podcast who could also do with doing a little bit better.
And if you think Lost in Translation Mod is fine, give it a 5.
Yeah, please. If you don't like the podcast, please do like a May and give it a 5.
Yeah, or do it like it's an Uber, where like the lowest you can give is a 4.
Yeah, like I've been told to give 5 stars for people, and I feel like I would. If they ask me for 5 stars, it means I don't want it. It makes me want to give them 5 stars even less. But anyway, We should end the show so we can just go and do about our sleepy time things, except for Evie, who's going to have a Sunday.
Pancakes.
Pancakes or Sunday. I was just saying that it was the day, but you can have a Sunday on pancakes.
I love a Sunday right
So
now.
Thanks for listening. Same, but also I love the pillow at the moment, and it's also really warm in this room. So, Quinn, where can we find you? Besides Lost Quinn... I tried to make a pun there. I tried to say Lost Quinn Translationmon, but I just said Lost in Quinn. So that's the thing. Quinn, where can we find you?
You can find me on the tweeters at RealYubico, or in a classroom.
And Evie, where can we find you?
You can find me over on the Moncast talking about Digimon Tamers and Pokemon Advanced.
And lately we've been enjoying Pokemon.
Yeah. New episode.
Which is nice. Sometimes. Not always, but thank you so much for listening, and we will see y'all next time. Bye.